right, Todd, we're going to talk about getting referrals from those who refer you. This has been something that, and we've talked about it in the past on the webinar, but I've had recently an incredible amount of success with it. I thought I would bring it back. I'm part of these forums and these real estate forums on Facebook and so forth, and one of the questions that you see posted, where's everybody get their leads, do internet leads work, and this and that. And I'm not going to say those don't work, but at the end of the day, our goal when we're building our business is to build a referral based business. And when somebody gives us a referral, we generally take great care of the person that they referred us to, but we don't do much for the person that actually did the referring. And you now have a person who has raised their hand and said, I am willing to put food on your table. So we have got to, we've got to kind of reassess when somebody sends you a referral, your marketing budget needs to kick in. This is part of how do you get more referrals from them instead of chasing all these other types of leads. If you've got people willing to send you leads, you got to double down and you got to encourage them and get them to give you more referrals. So we're going to talk about that. Number one is we talk a lot about this on the Recon Group. We spend a lot of time training our agents on how to do this, but you have to train your people in your sphere of influence. When you have people who are going to send you referrals, you have to train them how to send those referrals. You can't, if your person who's referring you is just handing out your business cards, you're not getting calls, or they're giving your number out. You're not going to get those calls. So what we train our people who send us referrals, we train them on how to immediately, if they're engaged in a conversation with someone who's looking to buy or sell or do something in real estate, we want them to send an introduction text. Create the text thread immediately. And these are the greatest texts I get. I get a few of them a month where someone's saying, hey, Mike, I want you to meet my friend Joe. They're moving from Florida and they're looking to buy a home. And now the introduction's made. I've collected phone number and I've collected name just from the text. And but as they do it, it's imperative that you respond to that text immediately. Hey, Joe, great to meet you. I'm going to give you a call this afternoon. Just make that connection right away. And then send a separate thank you text right away to the person who sent you the referral. Hey, thanks for sending me Joe. I really appreciate it. I'm going to take great care of them. Deliver on everything that you say that you're going to do for the client. Yeah. Deliver. And then, West USA offers these free mobile apps. It boggles my mind the amount of agents at West USA that either don't have one or not using it. This is the greatest tool to get them off Zillow, Realtor.com. In the quickest amount of time. And separate, hey, Joe, great to meet you. I want to make sure that you have my mobile app so you can begin the home search process immediately.
That's so important. Nick, what's the connection for the home
Thanks,
search?
Todd. Yeah. WestUSAapp.com.
Yeah, I think we slammed that one. All right, just trying to help you keep up there. Now, hey, yeah. Okay, so here's kind of some things when we're dealing about this, and we all know that in the old days the lead was called a ready, willing, and able person, and today it's somebody who's started significantly earlier in their process. They're only now showing their initial interest. It's an impression on a site, and yet you're paying hard, good money, after-tax money to get a lead for somebody who might not buy in the next 12 to 18 months or maybe potentially even longer. Zillow told us at one time during a broker forum that we went to that it was 1,000 to 1. That's the lead generation ratio of 1,000 to 1, 1,000 internet leads for every one who's really ready to get in the car today. The rest of them will buy. In fact, they say that over 40% of all people who, I suppose I could say 100% really. If you hang on to somebody long enough, you'll get business out of all those clients. But Mike, to your point, you have to go and be a little more evangelical in the way that you take a lead. If we've all been taught get business cards, and we think by handing out business cards and give this to your friends and family that's going to turn into business. The reality is that's the worst form of referral requests that you can get. Mike, the one that you recommended, call me, tell me who the people are, email me, tell me who the person is and their email and their phone number, and then add them as a CC to it. Mike, I'd like to introduce you to Nick. Nick, I'd like to introduce you to Mike.
And let's talk about the quality of lead. What would you rather have? 100 internet leads who are talking to multiple other agents, or someone who mutual friends introduced you to?
You maybe shouldn't have said that because it's got another minute for me now. But here's the thing, statistically, it's true. There you go. For every one person, for every 6 people in your database, just purely statistic, for every 6 people in your database, you should get 1 additional lead from that group of 6 every single year. So if you've got 100 people in your database, then or better yet, you should end up with somewhere between 17 to 20 potential leads each year. But if you have someone who is a person who likes you, trusts you, and wants to refer business to you, it flips. It's now for every one person that is that ambassador of yours, they should send you up to 5 people per year.
All right. Number 2 is keep the referrer updated during the entire process. Once we receive the referral, that's it. We don't communicate. The goal of everything that we do is to stay top of mind, and we're always looking for reasons to connect with people. So Todd, if you send me a referral, I am going to send you periodic texts during the search process. Hey, we just took Joe and Alice out looking for the first time this weekend. Hey, we just put in an offer on a home. Hey, we're now under escrow, or we just passed the inspection period. And then once it closes, I'm not going to text them. I'm going to actually give them a call. But it keeps them engaged. They're not going to forget about you. And it's going to make them feel good about sending you that business. And then, obviously, housewarming parties have not been as common with COVID. And I do not recommend doing a COVID housewarming party. Those aren't very popular these days. But when we were doing housewarming parties, and only when applicable, if, let's say, Lynn is really good friends with the couple that you referred us to, I'm going to partner with Lynn and say, Lynn, I'm paying for it, but help me throw them a housewarming party, get them excited about it. Help me get the names, phone numbers, and email addresses of everybody that you're inviting. But keep the referrer part of the process and keep them engaged.
I don't know how many, you can't show me your hands because we're not on Zoom, but how many people out there use Amazon to buy something? And the moment you buy something from Amazon, I don't know if you ever looked in your text if you gave them authorization to notify you, but the first thing they do is they send you a confirmation that you purchased something, and a copy of your invoice and a copy of the actual order so you can see exactly what it was, the way it looked on your screen when you pressed buy. Then they tell you the moment that it's gone out for shipping. Then they tell you when it's gone to the carrier. Then they tell you so if you're just familiar with that process, why do you think Amazon does that? They spend tens to hundreds of millions of dollars a year to ensure the consumer's experience is such that they want to come back and do it again. So imagine that now your job is to put your referring partner into a situation where they're going to have a great experience. They're going to be, here it is, part of that experience. Process, yep. And then at the end, you're going to celebrate their investment by having or time or referral by celebrating hopefully the successful outcome of the transaction. And to your point, Mike, do it the way you recommended.
Well, fortunately for me, our Amazon account is under my wife's information, so I don't get any of those text messages or emails. I just click order. Yeah. All right, and then the third thing. And I'll talk to people generally if I'm leading a mastermind group or a group of agents. I'll ask the question, if somebody sends you a referral, what do you do for them? A lot of agents hadn't really thought about it, or I'll send them a $25 Starbucks gift card. To me, that's not enough. Yeah. So what we do is everybody that sends me a referral, I treat them to an incredibly expensive dinner. I show my appreciation by spending some money on them. I believe the quality and the cost of the meal matters.
Totally.
And I make it a couples thing. My wife's not necessarily all that excited about going out with strangers all the time, but she knows, listen, we're going to be going on a double date here. I recently, we took some clients that referred us another client that we closed on them, took them to Arrowhead Grill. It's $300 bill. And people go, oh my God, $300. I'm telling you right now, if I gave you $300, or let's say you gave me $300 right now, and next week I gave you $9,000, how many times would you be willing to make that $300 investment? Yeah. And we've got another couple in December. We're going to take them out for their second time in the last 6 months because it's that whole Pavlov's theory.
Yep,
you
ring
reward. Fortunately, I got a bell.
Is everybody salivating now?
But reward behavior. And the most important thing for me in this is not so much of the rewarding the behavior as much as it's now a better opportunity to build a deeper relationship with someone who's proven that they're willing to send me business and put food on the table for my family.
Career. Yeah, absolutely. I want to flip that last one around. If I'm a referring partner, and I'm not saying me nor this is my philosophy, but I am telling you this is the consumer's philosophy. And I know because you sold me a house once, and I saw my settlement disclosure, and I saw that you earned $15,000. Or 9,000, whatever the thing is. The question is, when I receive your stipend for, your thank you, and it's a $300 gift card, the $300 goes a lot farther over dinner or in a wine tasting or in, doing something fun than it does, because the experience lasts longer as well. If you give them money, the experience is opening up the card, seeing the amount of money, and then there's a reaction. It's either a good reaction or it's a bad one. You got one shot. So if you don't want to be giving them a lot more money, because in their minds they're saying, "Oh my gosh, you made 15 grand. You gave me $300. I'm not going to refer to you. I'm not going to go through all this again, this emotional experience, and only collect 300. But if you make it a situation where now we're going out to dinner, we're spending time together, we're still talking about family, you're bringing me closer to your network, and I'm bringing you closer to my network. That's what this is all about. Go back to Michael Mayer's book, 7 Levels of Communication, and read it. It's a perfect example.
You only need 10 to 12 people sending you 3-4 deals a year.
Oh my gosh, that's it.
I'll spend it out. And I get to eat steak.
And they close 85. Statistically, referrals close 85% of the time.
All right, some announcements. We have got a coming up